Alright, welcome back. This month, let's follow up what we did last month with the CAD and the gold. And then we'll move on to the E-mini S&P 500 and how about the euro. Alright, but let's follow up. Let's see what we can learn from this. Just a quick reminder, we're pretty much just looking at swings and gaps. Alright, new low confirms a high, new low confirms a high. Same thing, new low confirms a high, new low confirms a high. And for now, we're keeping it simple. All we're doing is looking at the reaction leg. Okay, impulse, reaction, impulse, reaction, impulse, reaction. The largest reaction leg in our frame, this is what we were using, is going to be our major. And the next largest is going to be our minor. Okay, so what do we have here? Our minor, which is something like this. Yeah. That's the next largest swing on the way down. And then we're going to make projections, and we're going to see what we can learn from that. So as we left this market, we had a nice gap. We made a new low. Buyers would not hold it. I myself was planning some trades up in here. So let's see what happened. Price did not reach up in there. And so if you follow this market with me, this is the major, this is also a swing, so this becomes the minor. So we're just mapping now. We're just mapping. Doesn't mean you can't trade other things and do other things. This is a way to orient ourselves to the market. You know, I'm paying attention to things like gaps, like for instance, gap. We learned how to mark gaps. Here's a gap. Doesn't hold, makes new low to the other side. Something to learn from that. So in real time, I was following gaps like this. And so again, we're just going to see what we can learn from this. So this would be, you know, if you were also following different types of trades, this would be a push trade on the gap because we're pushing the momentum. You can see the swings are even smaller than this minor. The swings are like this. They're even smaller than the minor. And price continued on its momentum. And as it works its way up, we're just going to observe, all right? Take a look at the minor and see if it, notice it just zooms the minor, and then we take a look at the major. And that happens to be where price is now. So this is actually kind of your current go for the CAD. And don't forget, you know, you're going to follow the legs on up. So as we're making swings on up, just follow your major swings on up like this. This is a way to keep track, orient yourself, make things rather simple in a market, and make decisions from there. So we can see that the price is grabbing onto these swings, it's running into this major. There's all sorts of trade decisions can be made along here. You know, when it comes to lines, right? So we see this guy turn. So let's just play a little bit with lines, right? So we see it go from here to here. So you see this guy turn. Let's just take a look. Alright, so something like that. So that becomes like a center. See? This line here becomes like a center. So that's our CAD. Let's have a look at our gold. We left our gold off with this frame. Okay, basically a major swing, new high. We marked it, and these are the next largest. This is the minor swings. Boom, 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 and then we marked this gap. So let's see how this turned out. We also marked this gap. So look, right away we can see, if you remember, you can see we see the story price is telling. Buyers get excited, but they're hitting this gap. If it comes down, they have to deal with this gap. There's a sort of pressure. From here, you don't know what trade to take, but look at how it simplifies things. We're not watching news. We're not playing with indicators. Right here, I know I either want to sell this or I want to buy this. One way or the other. And we can see the projection of the major wave. Now this is a very typical pattern you'll see in your markets. See, notice all the crazy that's going on, right? It's just a swing. Just forget the crazy. Just forget the crazy and just try to see the wave. And this is what helps ground us as traders so we can make clear decisions. We can see very clearly, right? Just try to see the waves. If you see the crazy, at least begin to use it. And swings can be used for an entry also. So for instance, you don't want to stand here with your hands out at the swing. All right, you say maybe you're looking at the median line like this. You don't want to just stand out. Well, you can use swings in a very small fashion on the way up to think about, all right, it ain't going down no more. Maybe I can use this for an entry. Right? See this swing here. That swing here is the same as this swing here. Same kind of thing. So, like magic, our gold line seemed to project pretty close along the gap. And it's just telling you where buyers held, right? You don't know for sure which one's going to go. And I'm not going over all the other price action, but it looks like from there, price just had a really good time and ripped. So you can play with mapping this market on your own if you want. I don't know. I'll just do something like this. Okay. So that was gold. And what you want to do, right? Forget about trying to just always go after the trade. First, do a little learning here. If you did trade this, good. If you didn't trade this, take this apart. Walk through the bars. See the pressure that happened. See the pressure. See, right? 90 minutes down, down, down. We're going for new lows. Walk through and understand. Looks ugly. Boom. Hard up. Tail. Sellers just swapped. So you take your time and do a little bit of learning with this. Okay, so that's gold. So now let's move on to our new markets. Let's do the ES 90-minute. All right, so this is what this series is about, taking any market and framing it. Basically minor and major swings. So you should be able to, no matter what frame you grab, I'm going to start with this, you should be able to just say, look, a new high makes a new low. That's my reaction leg. And then I can come over here and look at other swings. Swing, swing, this little. So on the way up, this is my biggest swing. This is my minor swing. And you can see it's not reaching it, right? A lot of momentum. And finally we reach a minor swing here. And expand into a major swing on a major news event. You want to remember these kind of patterns. Okay? Price does this major and maybe got couple minors on the way, and then falls right back into the major again. This is exactly what gold did. Does this major, a couple minors along the way, crack. It's a very typical thing for markets to do. Alright, so let's move this guy forward and also play, with drawing your median lines. You get a good idea how median lines work. Alright, so this is price current, yeehaw, right? This is going to be our major swing. And geez, we don't really have much of a swing on the way up except these little guys. That's it. This is like our biggest nothing. My guess is somewhere over the month it's going to make a minor for us to use. But right now that's all we got. One thing I tend to do in this situation, when I can't, it V's so bad, when I can't grab a minor, I'll use one of the older minors over here and project. So we'll do this and take a snapshot of that so we know where we're at. And one of the other things this can teach you, like for instance this month in our sessions, we're talking a lot about how price will grind up here. How happy, right? It makes a turn, then it comes up here and grinds in these minors, and then crack. So we're paying attention to this type 2 kind of a trade, this crack of the minors. It's a pretty normal thing that happens in every market, right? You see them push, 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 crack. Push, 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 crack. See this push, it gets you all excited, right? Feel it. It's never going to quit. It's never going to quit. You've missed the boat. Everybody's buying it. Everybody's wrapped up every minute, and you lose perspective. Crack, and now everybody's running this way. People chasing it long here, now people chasing it short here. So that's the kind of thing that happens quite normally. And guess what? You're probably going to see that up here too. So think ahead a little bit. If this guy cracks, where's it going to crack down into? Let's just mark the gap, just for starters. Alright, so we'll leave that market there, and let's go tackle our next market, the euro. Let's see how other markets are doing. Hang on. So let's go tackle our euro now, and we're going to use a 90-minute euro. Alright, looks funky, right? Oh my god. The whole thing about mapping markets is not some sort of technique or system to trade. It helps you take all of this crazy and just see the waves. So start very simply. It grounds you. We all know in trading that our emotions tend to get the best of us, right? Ah, and then boom. Everybody's up here, yay! And then boom. We all know that. This kind of thing, we start to begin to just see in waves. So let's just mark it. And it looks like price is in the neighborhood right now. Doesn't mean it has to hold. If it switches, guess what? We switch. Then we'll use this as the reaction leg. So let's take this a little bit further and say, all right, we have this leg on the way down, so let's follow the biggest leg. That would be that one. So if this guy turns up, this is the first thing it's going to have to deal with. Something like this. If it keeps going down, we'll just carry this wave on with it. So you can begin to see ahead of time that if price comes down like this, this will become our new major and this will become our minor. So I went a little fast with these today, but we went slow with the prior lessons. And there's so much to learn in here also about price. There's so many interesting things to learn, and we'll move into some of those lessons. But right now, feel what price is doing. It's about that swing, and it's squishing, right? It's squishing down in here. There's a whole squishing going on down in here. We can even do little swings and see it's making these little swings down right now. So this is the kind of thing that might tune me in for a possible entry, you know, like this. We don't know what's going to happen yet, but that's where we are. Okay, until next month, thank you for your attention. Maybe we'll add a little bit more to these, but right now we're just keeping a nice simple swing map, and we'll throw in some gap work to understand along the way.